And what will you see? It says I am live.
The broadcast says live,
And I've got
and I've just got
no one looking on Facebook, no one looking on YouTube, but it doesn't give me stats for LinkedIn. So
okay. According to this, it's just loading on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there might be a delay.
Yep. Yep. So it's loud. We're now live.
Okay, well, we've
There we
got
go.
kind of, I've lost my countdown.
Because you're live.
I had a
Because you're
count.
live.
Oh yeah, I had a little countdown thing that I wanted to use. But, okay, so is it on LinkedIn now?
It is on LinkedIn. There are two people watching it, which may be just me and someone else.
All right, cool. Well, in that case, we'll start. I'm going to keep an eye on you down the bottom and say welcome to everybody to our first ever LinkedIn Live from myself and Rohit. And here we go. We're going to see what happens. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on LinkedIn. And this is the first, so the nerves are high. Let's give it a go. All right, Rohit, you interrupt me if there's anything I need to know. So I'm going to take us off the screen. And welcome to Turbocharge, your coaching practice in just 90 days. This is a regular webinar we run every couple of weeks. And Rohit and I are business growth specialists. We've been working together for some time now. And in particular, we're interested in helping coaches grow their coaching practice in just 90 days by taking some action. That we're going to outline today. Today is all about value. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to give you ideas and some strategies in order that you can grow your business, get more clients, close more sales, and find additional profits, something that we're all keen to do, I know. So without any further ado, if I can click the right button on this, here we go. It works. Today's game plan. We're going to do some education. We're going to do some analysis of some examples I've got of how people are marketing their business. We're going to review some case studies as well. But most importantly, we're going to give you a roadmap to success. There is a workbook that we'll let you have after this because it'll distract you if you're working on it here and now. We'll send that workbook to you. If you do want the workbook, please just pop your email in the comments box, whichever platform you're looking on, and Rohit will pick that up and we'll get it over to you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. One of the big problems we have as business owners, as coaches, and we're both coaches here, and I know we've got coaches watching, is overwhelm. It's a big problem. And what we do know is Mr. Pareto taught us something very valuable some time ago that said 20% of what we're doing every day is generating 80% of our total revenue. And that's quite insightful, really, because we spend a lot of our time doing things that don't actually generate anything for us. So the few things that we're doing daily, those are the ones we need to focus on that make you the most money. And we're here to share those with you today. And here we go. There's just 5 of them. 5 key areas that really you need to focus on to make up your 20%. So we'll start at the top here with more leads. So the 5 areas are more leads. How do we generate all the leads your business can handle? Once we've generated those leads, how do we convert those to paying clients? Most people don't have a system for doing that. And we're here to share a couple of ideas around that for you. Once you've got the conversions and they're high paying clients, how then do you get them to transact with you more frequently? How can they buy more often from us? And the 4th area is how can we charge higher prices? How can we actually increase our price without losing sales? Most people have increased their, well, the coaches that I speak to, most coaches have increased their sales on the, I think the 12th of never, Rohit, I think we said is kind of, not many people have done that because of course we're scared of losing sales. And I understand that. And finally, how do we make more profits? Once we've done all that stuff, how do we actually make sure we do skyrocket our profit and dominate the market? So that's kind of where we're going here. And what we're going to work on is small incremental changes that will produce big results. So we call this the compounding effect. And I'd like to give you an example of that shortly. We do have 8 strategies that will support those 5 steps. And I'll cover 4 of those today in the time that we've got. These 4 here we'll be focusing on. So I'll come back to those shortly. What I want to just demonstrate to you is how small incremental changes can make a huge difference to your business. And just concentrate on column 1 here, where you can see this imaginary business generates 1,000 leads in a year, manages to convert 25% of those into 250 sales. Those 250 sales transact with this business 10 times and pay $100 on average for that service or product, generating a revenue of $250,000. Very straightforward. Dollars could mean dirham if you're here in the UAE with us, or it could mean pounds if you're in the UK. Doesn't really matter. All relevant. And that generates then 25% net profit because we have some costs to take care of, which leaves us with $62,500 left at the end of the year, which is not bad. Still a good profit. Just thought, what happens if you just increase each of those areas, each of those 5 areas by just 10%? And rather go line by line because it'll just take too long. You can see the impact on the bottom line has gone from $62,500 to $100,000. Not quite doubled, but it's on its way. That's significant. So 10% area increase in each of these areas has given us 100. And it's not unusual that we've found with our coaching that it's not 10% increase we get with these strategies. We actually get at least 50% increase. So if you to increase each of these 5 lines by 50%, you can see the big impact it has on the business, going from 62,500 up to 474,000, nearly $500,000, 760% increase. So all the time we're trying to reduce overwhelm for our clients and for you as coaches to really focus on just these 5 areas will generate you massive profits, pretty much guaranteed actually. So let's start. Let's move on. Rohit, if there are any questions or anything, I know you'll let me know. So I can see you at the bottom here. So I'm going to move into the first area, which is about how do we generate more leads. And I'm going to give you an example here. We're going to work through the first strategy here of how to make advertising work for your small business or your coaching business. You might not have a small business, you might have a large business, but how do we make it work? There's a key to success for successful marketing. What we've learned over the time is that we have to be able to enter the conversation that's going on in the head of your prospects. You've got to be able to enter that at the right time. Or another way to look at it is you've got to be able to address the number one question that's on your prospect's mind just at the right time. And that's pretty tough call. Is that, how do I do that? Well, we've got the answer for you shortly. The conversation that's taking place in every prospect's mind revolves around 2 major points. There's a problem they've got that they don't want, and there's a result that they want but they don't have. So there's a problem they have and they don't want, and the result they're looking for that they don't have yet. If we can address those 2 major points at the right time, this is where you'll be able to attract many more clients towards your practice. We use something called the conversion equation. I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like shortly. And the conversion equation is 4 steps that you must make sure is in your marketing, or anytime you're talking, if you're at a networking event, having a conversation over coffee with someone, you need to be able to do these 4 things. Firstly, you need to interrupt them. You need to interrupt your prospect. And this is your headline. If you think about an advert, and that's your headline. Then we need to engage with them. So once we've got their attention, we've stopped them scrolling, or we've stopped them reading, or we've got their attention at a networking event, we then really need to engage with them. And that's kind of what we call our sub-headline. And again, I'll show you an example of that. But we need to engage with them because one of the things that we know that buyers are looking for all the time is information. So we have to engage with them in a compelling way. The third stage of the conversion equation is we must educate them. We must educate them and give them information that presents evidence that we and our services, our coaching services, are superior to your competition. So we have to educate them because people are looking for that information. So we've interrupted them, we've engaged with them, we've got their attention, now we educate. And too often people just go to stage 4 too quickly and offer them. And I'm sure you've all experienced that on all the platforms that we have, like LinkedIn or email, where people just go straight from hello to offer. So the fourth stage, is offer. It must be so compelling and so irresistible, I love that word, to your prospects so the prospects can't turn it down. So 4 steps in the conversion equation: interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. Let me give you an example of that in a second, because what we need to understand is the people who are ready to buy from us right now only represent about 1% of people that are actually out there. Only 1% of actually saying, who should I buy from? I know what the problem is. I can see you've got the solution, but there's a number of people out there. How do I choose between them? That's only 1% of buyers. The vast majority, the 99% others, are looking for information. They're either future buyers out here and they're saying, well, why should I buy? Maybe they're not even problem aware at this stage. Maybe they are problem aware and they're soon to be buyers. They're now raising objections to owning the solution and asking the question, why shouldn't I buy? And depending on where we are on this scale, we need to be helping the clients move down the buyer's journey towards being a now buyer. So let me give you an example of typical websites that we see around the world. Typically, a website is just there with lots of information on it, lots of tags where you can poke around on, and then these supposedly call to actions, as people call them, saying, "Well, contact Gary, call me now." It's like get your free consultation. Well, what's the offer? I don't see the offer. I'm not sure what this is all about. Why would I contact this particular person? And then here's another one, a chiropractor again, kind of, well, what's the offer? What do you want me to do? I don't understand. There's loads of places I can hunt around with for information on this website, but I'm not sure. I'm not very clear what you're offering me. It's too soon, so I'm not going to phone you. So because I'm looking for information, as I've said, I wanted to share with you one of our clients. Dr. John Smith is over in the States. We are primarily an international company. The base is in the States, and this was an international client that we had in the US. And he was a very successful doctor, and he specializes in many, many areas, as you can see, emotionally disturbed children all the way through to depression, teenage rebellion. But he's there to give parents advice, and he still is very successful. And his website was the same as the ones we've just seen. There's a nice video on there telling them all about who he is and what he does, that lists down the specialisms that he has, and also offers a free consultation, of which he did get some, and I'll show you the numbers that he did get from this site. So it's not that this website was a disaster, it's just that we can make it better. So how did we do that? Well, we changed a few things up a little bit. What we did is we've changed this now to, let me just make sure, there we go. We've used the conversion equation here. So at the top here, you can see the headline. And what we asked him to do is say, just pick one of these areas here to focus on. There's many, many areas you've got here specialized, and let's just focus on one. So what we focused on is the emotionally disturbed child. And the interrupt, the headline was simply, are you sick and tired of yelling, screaming, and belligerent attitude of your child? Now, if you were a parent and unfortunately had a child who was always yelling, excuse me, he was yelling, he was yelling, screaming, and had a belligerent attitude, that's going to get your attention. For all of others, like we don't have that issue here, I'm probably not going to stop and look at that. But this will definitely appeal to people who have got the problem in their head at the moment, that I've got a screaming and belligerent attitude coming from a child. The subheadline, as we said, is the engage part. So now here's the solution that they want that they don't have. Now you can discover the secrets of controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet in your home. So the interrupt, the problem they've got, they don't want, and the engage is the solution that they want, but they don't have. We then do some education, and I'll quickly show you what Dr. Smith talks about here in his video. He does some education in terms of how he can help and what he does, how he specializes in. And then he makes an offer, a very compelling offer, that says, learn the secrets to gain and maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds. And that's a fair trade. For my name and email address, I'm going to get some secrets about how to control my child. It's very valuable. So you can see how it's all tied together using the conversion equation. Now, the video scripts that he used, very simple, 4 points. So he talks to the parent as if he's trying to talk to the parent who's got that problem. As a parent, are you struggling to gain control of your child's emotions and attitude? Is your child screaming at you while often displaying belligerent and sometimes threatening tone? Yes. You just can't seem to get it under control. So he's explaining the problem that they've actually got. And of course, if you had that, you'd be resonating with them. And then he says, my name is Dr. John Smith even, and I help parents like you every day learn the techniques that will solve these frustrating and destructive behavioral patterns once and for all. In fact, let me prove it to you. So now we know that the education piece is like, this is what he does. This guy solves the problem that I've got. And the offer is, well, enter your email address because you can prove it to me. Enter your first name and email in the box to the right, and I'll send you a series of 60-second techniques that will immediately restore peace and quiet to your home. Now, that's a compelling offer for someone who's got that in initial actual problem. So what happens is this call to action there is there literally to solve their problem. Now, what happened with Dr. John? Let's show you what happened. So prior, with the previous website that he had, and it was a website, and I'll explain what the difference is of this website and what we created for him. He did well. He was averaging 300 leads per month. We didn't look at his lead generation. We're looking at how we can get more people into his surgery. So average 300 leads per month. An average of 30 of them, or 10%, called to ask about consultation. It's pretty good. And an average 3 of them, 10% of that 30, actually consent to the consultation, and all 3 become new patients. And that's kind of a typical conversion rate that we see. So that's with the old website. So we're doing pretty good. When we change just this one area here, this emotionally disturbed children, and use that as what we call a landing page or a squeeze page, depending on terminology, this is just one page that we send people to. Okay, there's no other menus you'll see at the top. There's nowhere they can go. It's literally just talking to the potential prospect. And he still generated 300 leads per month because we didn't do anything with his advertising of this. We had this ready. But what happened was it doubled his request for the offer. So it went from 60 to, it went from 3 to 6. I beg your pardon, I just got distracted. Shouldn't have WhatsApp on when you're doing a presentation. Average of 6 consent to the consultation. All 6 become new patients. So with an average sale value of $800, which is what he charged for his services, he's generated $2,400 per month increase, or a $28,800 annual revenue increase. So you can see, just by tweaking the messaging, just trying getting into the prospect's head at the right time with the right message, this is the impact you can have. And I'll challenge you, to look at your own websites and to see, are you entering the conversation that's going on in your prospect's head? Are you using the conversion equation to interrupt, to get their attention, to engage with them initially and tell them the solution that you have for them, educate them about that solution, and then make them an offer they can't possibly refuse? It's kind of the offer that they'd be silly not to do business with you. So the question is here, if you employed this strategy in your business, if you employed this strategy in your business, what percentage impact do you think that would have on your revenue? And you can put the comment in the box if you like, that'd be great. But if you just write down what percentage increase in revenue that might give you if you were to do what we did with Dr. John, what impact could that have on your business? And don't go silly. Don't go for 50%. Don't go for 100% like we experienced with Dr. John. What I'd like you to do is think about, well, what happened if you did a 10% improvement? What impact would that have on your business? And just jot that number down. And if you want to share that, that's fine. But we're not here to find your trade secrets. But please, write that number down, because when we've done all 4 hours, what I'd like to do is see what total amount you've managed to find in your business. So I'm just going to pause and take a drink. I'm not coughing into the next section. Rohit, are there any questions that we see at the moment?
No, nothing so far. We've had a few people ask for the workbook, which is great. So we'll come back to them with a link, or we'll send on the workbook after the session. But no questions as of yet. I think we're all good.
Perfect. Great stuff. Okay, I will carry on. I will keep going. Okay, so on our 5-step formula, we've looked at more leads, generating more leads. How do we convert those leads? Well, I'd like to share a strategy with you that we've used very successfully to help improve your conversion rate, as we call it, from those leads. And having a system to do that is quite key for us. It's definitely key for us as coaches as well. So the strategy I've picked to share with us today is downselling. So how do we downsell our way to wealth? Which sounds counterintuitive. I know, it's like, what are you talking about, Mike? I'm trying to increase my sales, not decrease them. So let me just explain a little bit more about downselling. This is kind of where someone backs away from your offer. You've made them an offer of coaching. So maybe you're charging $1,000 a month. Maybe you're charging more or less. I don't know. Let's take $1,000 on average. And they decline that. So when someone declines your product or service offering, you need to be able to offer them an alternative at a lower price, which is interesting. It's like, well, why would I want to do that? I'll cover that in a second. And this might be a smaller quantity package of your products or services. So it could be just less volume. It could be in coaching terms. It could be, well, if you don't want to meet me every week, meet me twice a month rather than 4 times a month. So that could be an example of that. It could be a lower quality item. It could be it's not a premium package, but you can still get access to the information, but it's just delivered in a different way. It could be a stripped down version of the current offering. Or it could be just a first time buyer special. You could think of something that you downsell, and I'll cover some coaching examples as well very shortly of what that might look like for you. So the whole purpose here is to turn that prospect into a client. And now, even if they're not going to pay you $1,000 or $2,000 a month, let's get them to spend something with you. So at least we have some short-term financial benefit for you as a coach, but also more importantly, a long-term business opportunity, as we'll come on to the next section about upselling people once you have them as a client. So rather than just saying you're too expensive, oh, that's the end of the conversation, we'd fully recommend a downsell strategy. And this downsell must be significantly different in some way, which justifies a lower price, okay? It must be perceived as offering value, not just a cheaper version, yeah? So we must look for ways to repurpose the products and services that we offer to create the lower price item. And let me give you a couple of examples of that. I'll give you a couple of examples, and I'll give you a couple of coaching examples. So take internet marketing. Rohit and I were invited to go to Cancun, Mexico late last year, and we decided not to go. And rather than not paying anything to the company that we belong to here, they downsold us a online streaming of the event, which was fantastic, which was great. We got online. I could have watched it online. However, the timing wasn't going to work for me. So they said, well, no problem, Mike, don't worry. We'll give you a recording of the training, which is kind of the same content, but it's not live. You're not going to experience it, but at least you get the recording of it. And I took that. And Rohit, I think you did the same thing. Your timing is slightly better in the UK than mine. And then there was another downsell as well. If I'd said no to the recording, they would have just sent me a downloadable content of the slides, which of course don't bring it to life, but at least you get the content. So you can see the point here. It's kind of downselling yourself to get hold of the content. Health Club, simple example here. They sell, a 1-year gold membership program. They could downsell you to a 90-day trial membership, so you can at least try it, or maybe a 30-day membership, or even a 1-week membership. One of the local clubs does here. I don't know what you get done in a week, but at least they can offer it. If you can come and try it, we know that sampling and trying out our products sometimes can help. Let me give you a coaching example. And this is a real example. So imagine you've got a standard one-to-one package of $1,900, $2,000 a month. And every week, when you're doing your prospecting, you meet with 8 business owners every week. That's not a bad average, couple of people a day. But I don't know what your experience has been recently, but a lot of people are saying, well, I've got no money. Haven't you seen what's going out in the world? Have you seen COVID? Have you heard about that? So the vast majority will probably say they have no money. And at that point, normally we go, okay, I haven't got anything else to offer you. So, or we'll get into discounting later. We discount our way to the bottom. So I don't want to go there. However, if you had a group coaching program that you sold for $497 a month, maybe you could downsell half of those people who haven't got any money into that, because it's not going from 2,000 to 500, if you like, and they're going to get the same content delivered in a different way. And as a coach, of course, if I'm group coaching, I'm leveraging my time much more effectively than I'm one-to-one coaching. So actually, group coaching could be a good way forward, a good strategy for you to cover off that. So what's the impact of that? Well, actually, if you take three of those at $497 a month, it generates an annual $17,000, nearly $18,000 worth of additional revenue. Well, that's worth having. That is definitely worth having. So the importance of downsell, hopefully you can see the importance now. The other thing is, once they're in the group coaching program, you obviously will have an opportunity to upsell them back into the one-on-one coaching. And that's happened numerous times for us. So let's go one step further. Let's say the standard group coaching that we just talked about is going out at $497 a month. That's what it is. And again, hang on a second. I do apologize. again, we meet with 8 business owners. So say we're selling our group coaching package this week, and 6 of them again say they've got no money. Well, you need to have somewhere to go with those guys. So what if you had a DIY e-learning program that was available for only $200 a month, $197 a month? You think you could probably downsell 3 of those people out of the 6 into your DIY learning program. The benefit for you as a coach, of course, is that there is no interaction needed from yourself, and it literally is a DIY. And you'll be surprised how many people say, yeah, I'll do it myself because I can't afford your services. So again, that would add another $7,000 in additional revenue for you in that year. And of course, this is just 1 week. So how many weeks do you want to work in a year? Work that out, and then you could see how much more income you could generate into your coaching practice. So just taking those 2 very simple examples and live examples, you can see that we've downsell 3 to group, 3 to e-learning, and the total additional revenue is $25,000, $2,000 a month extra. So that's how the power of downselling would really help add even more revenue to your business. So hopefully that will help you there, because it is a pretty simple and easy strategy. If you've got the material, of course, you've got to create that, and I'm sure many of you have already created your own programs. So just think about how you could repurpose some of that content and put it out in a different format and maybe charge slightly less, but at least they've got a client. You've got a client, because the relationship from prospect to client changes as soon as they pay you even $1 or a dirham or a pound. It changes straight away. So again, what I'd like you to do is just jot down what percentage impact do you think that would have on your business if you employed this strategy. So if you know your annual revenue, just add, I don't know, whatever you think it might be, but don't go mad, don't go 50%, but it would add a significant amount to your revenue. Rohit, how are we doing?
Yep, all good here. No further comments as of yet. People are coming in and out, but no further comments as of now. So,
no problem.
Yep.
Okay. I've noticed that the slides don't reveal on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just comes up straight away. But okay, let's move on. So thank you very much. We're moving on to the next slide. So we're on to more transactions. So we're the 5-step formula on step 3 here, which is more transactions. So let's talk through this. And I alluded to this in the last section. How do we upsell and cross-sell and make big profits? How do we do that? What is it? Well, very simple. And this is quite a quick section, really. Upselling is offering a higher grade, quality, or size of the item at the point where the customer is ready to buy. So offering a higher grade or size at the point where the customer is ready to buy. That's key. Cross-selling is offering other products or services which complement the item at the point when the customer is ready to buy. And the reason we keep underlining the at the point when the customer is ready to buy is because it's been proven that 34% of prospects, 34%, will buy additional products or services at the time of their original purchase, if they're asked to do so. Now, I don't know about you, and I've been coaching for like 10 years now. In the initial days, if I could just get a contract, I was happy with that. And I'd just run away jumping and screaming and celebrating, which is fantastic. But never tried to upsell, never tried to cross-sell them until the recent years when I realized that actually I need to be able to do that to add additional revenue into my business. And 34% is a good revenue, a good percentage of conversion. And of course, one of the companies that you'll recognize that do this all the time is McDonald's. It's made them billions of dollars in terms of revenues. So, would you like that supersized? That's an automatic thing that the staff are trained to do. And that's the upsell. Would you like to take an apple pie with your Big Mac? Yeah, absolutely. It's there. This adds up to 40% of McDonald's franchise revenue, which is a scary number. So that's the money that we're leaving on the table as coaches if we're not thinking about what we could cross-sell, what could we upsell, can we add some more value in here for the client as we go through that. So again, looking for those opportunities, and the garages are great. I found another one as well this morning I was looking at, where you take your car in for service, and they might say we'll give you a free checkup, as on this next slide that I've got here. Oh no, it's gone. It's on the deck. You come in for a free service, and they will find things. They will find things that you might need your oil changing, you might need more brakes putting on, you might need your tires changing. There could be anything. They're going to upsell and cross sell you on the spot there and then, and they're masters at it. So again, look around and think about what you could be offering as an upsell and a cross sell in your practice. Again, same question will come, and we're rattling through this today. Is if you employed this strategy, what percentage impact would it have on your revenue? So again, take your annual revenue and add a percentage on. What would it be if you could just upsell it and keep it small? Don't look for 50%, 10%, 5%. But what is the cash value of that? I'm interested to know what that cash value is as we move on. All right, Rohit, how are we doing there? All good?
Yep, all good. No questions. Nope. Nope, all good.
Okay. I'm just interested because this is the first time I've used this software. When I click these two, do you appear with me on the screen, and then I click it off? Do you disappear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
good. I'm
Yes,
just wondering. I was just wondering.
working. It is working as we're seeing it. Yes.
This is live TV, folks. This is the first time we've done this. It's quite interesting. All right, let's move on to the final section I've got time for today, which is higher prices. How do I charge higher prices? How can you increase it and get your customers to thank you for it? Is one term that I like to use. And so this strategy I want to use here today is, how do we stop this discounting madness by offering additional value through bundling? And discount is something that I'm sure people who are listening into this will recognize, that if someone says you're too expensive, the immediate thing is, oh, I'll do it for half price, or I'll do it for less than that. And I'm here to try and encourage you not to do that. And I want you to think about bundling. Bundling is simply the process of grouping together products to create packages. Because what happens is, if you just keep discounting, what happens is the only comparison they have is price. They say, oh, Rohit's more expensive than Mike, or is more expensive than Nigel, or whoever it might be. So by bundling packages together, or products together and service together, you create this apples to oranges comparison, which takes price away. Because if there is only price, that's it. That's the only value proposition left to the consumer. Because customers are shopping value, we know that these days they're looking for what they can get, what's the value for money they can get for the price that they're paying. They're not looking up price. But unfortunately, we tend to be very bad at conveying our value proposition. And I'm a business coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a whatever coach it is that you are, and that's not the value proposition. We've got to extend what value we do add to the consumer and to the client. So we want to move away from price being the only value proposition that they have. And the real key, as I mentioned earlier, is to offer more value to your competition. And we know from our research that prospects will pay twice the price if they're getting 4 times the value. I've got a good example to show you. It's not a coaching example today, but I want to show you a good example in a second about why people would do that. Unfortunately, businesses, in a vain attempt to increase the value, begin to offer discounts, and that just destroys margins. I've got to say, if you are discounting your rate just to get business, just be very, very careful, because once you've done that, even if you do it by 10%, and when was the last time you saw a 10% discount in the shops or anything? You see 40 and 50%. But if you just discount by 10%, you've got to sell 50% more just to break even. And if we had time, I'd do the maths on that, but I can show you that another day. So the closely guarded secret that we need to let you know is, you've got to stop discounting. Whatever happens, we have to stop discounting. We need to innovate your business so you offer more value than your competition, even if it means, increasing your price. Even if it means increasing your price. And as we've added things into our business over the years, we've increased our pricing in comparison to what it used to be 10 years ago. Because when you discount your price, you just lose every single value of the dirham, the dollar, the pound. It just goes straight to the bottom line. And Rohit has this term, it's the fastest race to the bottom, I think you've said in the past. But bundling increases the perceived value so people buy more. Let me give you a good example of a client. And I use this as an example because it's quite inspirational. Again, we had a client out in the States which build homes for people. And what happens with builders is they typically contract with certain suppliers, and particularly on electronics, because if they can get good deals on electronics, because they buy in the volume, it makes sense for them. So this client agreed to buy multiple packages of a whole house entertainment system, which included a massive TV, complete surround system, home security system, and fire protection and monitoring system. He bought these in a huge volume. And the retail, if you bought these from the supplier, it would cost you $22,800 installed. But of course, because the home builder didn't need installing because he'd do it, because he's got people on site already, and they will install it for them. He got them in volume for about $6,500. And then just imagine now that builder competing with other builders in the neighborhood. And the houses were going for around $150,000 in that price range at the time that this happened. And what our builder did is they offered their home for $156,500. So you can see it's just added in that $6,500 expense. And their home that they buy comes standard with a $22,800 home entertainment system, full security system for free. So would you buy from the builder who's offering $150,000 without this, or $156,000 with it? You can see how bundling improves the value proposition very strongly for that. In fact, what happened if the builder offered it for $160,000? You still expect people to buy it. And this is what I loved about the way that they promoted this. On the left here, you can see free in every Beezer home, which is the client. And you can see all the gear that's included in the price. The value, 22,800. There's your value proposition. Customers go, wow, that's incredible. In our competitors' houses, cheeky, but they did it. 228 value, because you get some cable jacks and telephone jacks, and that's great. That is compelling. Now, what you need to think about is how can you apply that to your own business? Think, well, gosh, if I could bundle together some group coaching, some one-on-one coaching, some workshop days, how can I bundle it to add more value and compete with other coaches? It would be pretty impressive as you go through. So again, I know we're going through this quite quickly today. Yep, thank you. If you employed this strategy, what percentage impact would this have on your revenues? That's the question we ask. So you can see the pattern of behavior here. We identify a strategy. We then ask you to apply it to your own business. And what I'd like you to do is really think about what percentage improvement this would make, and also what is the value of that in whatever currency you're working in today, whether it's dollars, dirhams, pounds, whatever, euros. What is the total amount that you've had? Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second, Rohit, just to take breath. Anything from you? Anything I've missed? Anything?
No, nothing missed. I'm just reminding people in the comments that if they are interested in receiving the workbook for today's session, they can email us, so they can then go through this at their leisure. So I know Mohammed is watching and he has asked for that, so we will get that to him. And obviously, if there's anybody else, DM us or put it in the comments, and we will come back to you with the workbook. So yeah, all good otherwise.
Perfect. Thanks, Rohit. And yes, you'll be people watching the recording as well. This will stay live for a long time. So if you want to get the workbook and just get in touch with us, as Rohit has said. So great stuff. So all that's left to do really now is to add up the revenue you just found for your business. Now, because we're doing it live here and we don't seem to have that interaction on the screen here, what I'd like you to do is add it all up, and then as you see the recording, or if you're live now, I'd like you to put the number in the box if that's possible. Just what number you've managed to find, because it's important to say, well, look, if we do these small incremental changes just to these 4 areas of business, what kind of impact would that have on my business? Am I doing any of this? Many a time we get people saying, yeah, I've heard about upselling. And then I'll say, well, what are you doing about it? And the answer is, well, I know about it, but I'm not doing it. So if you actually did something about it and followed our strategies, what could you do? And that's the purpose of today, is really give you that value as we go through here. Fantastic. I can see some comments. Oh, all right, jolly good, jolly good. Okay. So as I wanted to say here, this revenue that you generate isn't a one-time increase. You'll generate year after year after year, but you've got to keep at it. You've got to keep following the conversion equation. You've got to look at your downsell opportunities, constantly looking to innovate, to bundle, and to upsell and cross-sell. So you must focus on these. This is the 20%. It's probably the 20% of the 20%, actually. But if you, and today I've been saying, well, just put 10% improvement. Imagine you did 50%. Put that number in your calculation. You'll start to see that this is how, if you do these, if you work on these strategies, that actually don't cost any money. They actually don't cost you any money. Most people go straight into a marketing campaign when they want to generate revenue, but these are no or extremely low cost strategies for you to take a look at, and we've got a few of those. So I'd like to just take this opportunity now. We've been running 40 minutes, which is pretty good. We'd love your feedback here, and the feedback, I don't know if this works on this software, but we'll try it. I don't think you can click on that. I don't even know it's showing up, but maybe we can put that into the chat box for people to give feedback, because we've been doing this now for about 8 weeks. We've been running webinars regularly. This is the first time we've done it live, so I really appreciate any feedback that you might have, because we also need to do a bit of a review of this after that. So that would be great. If you know of anyone who might benefit from this, also please, let them know. Tuesday, 12 p.m. GMT, which is 4 p.m. here in the UAE. Every Tuesday, we're here. Rohit's running a session next week, and we'll continue to do some, and we've got some more content to share with you in 2 weeks' time as well. So, please keep watching out for these sessions. We just want to add value to you. And what we want to do is want to also thank you for attending. Even if you're watching the recording, that's fantastic. Drop us your email and we'll send you our gifts. We've got some gifts for you. Rohit and I have both written, well, we've written 4 books between us now. My first book there is Release the Hidden Revenues, and Rohit's is Release the 15, Secrets of Business Acceleration. He has 15 strategies in his book there. And the reason we want you to do that or give you the books is because in 72 hours time you'll have forgotten 70% of what we discussed today, and we want you to apply these to your business. The strategies that I've spoken about are in my book, and then Rohit's got some additional ones in his book. So drop us your email and we'll get those over to you forthwith, is the comment I say, but we'll get those over to you. That's our first gift to you. Now, you see, the other thing is, this is what we do all day long. We find businesses money, and what we'd like to provide you with is your second gift, to say thank you very much for coming along. We want to give you your own financial crystal ball. We want you to look inside your business, and there's no obligation here at all. We want you to have a look inside your business, because you will find untapped revenue without question. And so whatever revenue you're making right now, if you're just starting out even, we'll show you how you can dramatically increase your profits by taking our second gift. And this is using our proprietary profit acceleration software. We'll pinpoint every financial breakthrough. We'll look at just 12 areas in your business, and it'll take less than an hour. In 90% of the cases, the assessments that Rohit and I have done, we've found at least $100,000 of hidden revenue. Now, you've got to do something with that. You've got to go and implement the strategy, but we're going to hand that over in a report and a roadmap to you, and the exact steps to take, and give it you for free. So if you'd like to take that session up, it just takes an hour of your time. Sit with me or Rohit, and we'll take you through the Profit Accelerator software, give you a plan, give you a roadmap, give you a report, and over to you, so you can have that. And the reason we can do that is because we associate contributors to the Six Figure Coach magazine, and we received a $10,000 COVID recovery grant from them, which allows us to cover the costs. So we're very excited, because it doesn't cost us anything now, and it doesn't cost you anything, so we all win. So that's there for you. If you'd like to take that up, there is a link for you to either write it down or click on it, or wherever you can make it happen, Rohit. If you click on that, it will allow you to book an hour in with myself or Rohit, and we will take you through that. I say no obligation, there's no selling, it's just giving you that for thanking you, and a bit more formal kind of value for you to add. And it doesn't stop there. Finally, we want you to, the book you complimentary session now, I've just shown you that. The third gift and the final gift for you today is we'd like to give you 30 days complimentary access to our e-learning platform. You heard me mention about the e-learning earlier. We'd just like to give you 30 days access and knock yourself out. Getting there, it's like the biggest library on earth for marketing, lead generation, conversion strategies, even got adverts in there you can use, all sorts of profit growth strategies. There's also a 52-week MBA program, but have a look. There's no charge. We're not going to charge you or anything. We don't want your credit card. We just want you to go and experience it. So go in and download as much as you can. That's what I say, and see what value you can get for that. So that's a big thank you from myself and Rohit for coming along today, spending your time either live or watching the recording. Really appreciate your time. And with that, I think I click this and that says thank you. That is our last slide for today. If there are any questions, comments, slander, abuse, let me know. But that's kind of a very brief 45-minute walk through the presentation today. So Rohit, anything?
No, thank you for that, Mike. No, I've updated the LinkedIn chat with all of the links for everybody. We will do the same on the Facebook as well, so that it's there for people. Should they want to come back to this and look at it later, they can. And for those that have requested the workbook, I know Pauline and Mohammed have requested it so far. We will get that over to you as well later today. So yes, so thank you from both of us for attending and joining us today.
Yep. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and we will see you. Well, again, we're back here every Tuesday. Tuesday, isn't it, right? We've just changed our working week in the UAE. It's very confusing. It's now Monday to Friday, and it used to be Sunday to Thursday, so I get very confused. All right. Thank you very much. We're out of here. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.